Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. There were thousands of people who turned out for Nipsey Hussle's funeral. Took place on Thursday at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. People are still reeling from his death. Rapper Mysonne held an event on Sunday dealing with the whole issue of black men losing their lives to violence. So the question then becomes, how do we deal with this? The death of Nipsey Hussle happens all across this nation where African Americans are shot and killed. You have kids who are going to school every single day who are dealing with the reality of violence in our community. Significant exposure to a level of violence that we frankly have not seen before. Does that mean that we are experiencing trauma, PTSD? And how do we deal with that, and how do we move forward? Well, clinical psychologist Dr. Nicole Alford joins us right now. Doc, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
Doing great. So many people, of course, have been just outpouring. Folks going by his store. They've been offering, of course, placing flowers and candles and things along those lines. And you see other artists and others, grown men who were crying as well. So how do we confront this and deal with it when we have people who, frankly, see this literally every day of their lives?
Yeah, so I think we do what we're doing at this point in time, which is to grieve collectively. I think that's the first step that we have to do. I think secondly, we have dialogues like we're having now. We open up the dialogue. And I think, frankly, we have to start understanding and being able to admit when we're not okay. And so when we have people like Chance the Rapper, and we have people like Taraji Henson, and we have people like Jennifer Lewis who come out with their stories of grief and trauma and depression and suicidality, that allows us to open up the conversation and to have a dialogue.
But what about when you don't have a funeral at Staples Center? What about that nameless, faceless young brother or sister who is shot and killed, who is a student, and then you have kids who we expect to somehow go to school the next day and still learn and act as if essentially nothing ever happened. Yeah. I mean, look, others can take time off to grieve. If you're a student, you can't do that. And then in some places, they're dealing with multiple shootings, multiple deaths in a school year.
So I think one of the, if there is any positive that can come from this, again, it's the opening of the dialogue. I think the one thing that the 2016 election taught all of us is that our vote is our voice, and our voice matters, and it counts. And so I think we mobilize as a community. I think that there not only is strength in numbers, but I think certainly when you are dealing with emotional issues and psychological trauma, grief, depression, one of the ways to help come out of that is to get out of yourself and to mobilize and to take some type of action, a positive action. And so we begin to mobilize as a community. We have these dialogues, right? And we begin to plan. I think that's how we start.
Also, when we talk about this level of trauma, we also have to confront, I fundamentally believe, with what does happen to black men. The stories that we hear that the brother who allegedly shot and killed him, caught on videotape, felt that Nipsey was disrespecting him. And I was talking to a rapper last week, and he said, look, there's three things you don't say to a brother in the hood. You don't call him gay, you don't say he's a snitch, and you also don't question his manhood. And he said that will set a guy off who can go from peace to wanting to kill you.
Right.
That speaks to, again, this something totally different that we have to confront, because killing somebody should not be the end result of a disagreement.
So absolutely, you're right. So here's the thing. I think that when you are traumatized, I think when there is no safety, not outside of your community and certainly not within your community. I think when you live in a war zone, you become angry, you become aggressive, you become hyper aroused and hyper vigilant, and there is no channel for those emotions. There is no outlet for that. And so again, I think as a community, we have to start having conversations, right? So we need to start having conversations about why there's so much violence in our community. That's a conversation that I believe we need to start having, right? We can't excuse that. That wasn't police on black violence. That was black on black violence. And so this type of a conversation absolutely will open up that dialogue. It will allow us to have that dialogue in a safer space, whereas maybe pre his death, we wouldn't be able to have it. We wouldn't be able to hear it.
All right, real quick, where can people get some online resources to deal with this whole issue of trauma and PTSD?
So people can, of course, go to my website at www.thegooddrnick.com. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI.org, has a wealth of resources, and so any one of those they can find resources.
All right, Dr. Alford, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders, enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement the proposal. The deadline to apply has been extended to April 15th. That is today. So go to fgb.life for more information to apply. I'll say go to this website today. Don't wait. Tomorrow it's too late. So go to fgb.life for more info and to apply. And remember, Ford goes further in our community. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.